I want you to imagine two people that aren't getting along. This could be you and your partner. Could be you and a family member. Perhaps a parent. Mom, dad. Maybe a sibling. Or a complete stranger. You have to imagine when two people aren't getting along, what does that look like? Is somebody looking angry? Are they raising their voice? I'm sure their face doesn't look welcoming or inviting. What do you think the words sound like? Do they sound calm or angry? Does either person start to talk down to the other person? Perhaps be condescending, as if that person's beneath them or they're above them. We have to imagine this scenario because it happens to all of us. But yet, it seems as though this is just bound to happen. And I'd like to tell you, I don't think it has to happen. I want to explain why. I mean, what is this argument about? Honestly, just think about it. What is it about? Now, I want to take out of this equation anything that is so damn serious, like if somebody cheated on somebody, or somebody broke the law, or somebody just did something completely awful. And I understand that sounds kind of vague, but I think we can all agree upon, what's pretty damn serious to get friggin' pissed off about, and what's not. So, if we exclude this from these situations, let's just ask ourselves, how many times do we get into an argument with somebody and the argument, it's not about anything that serious? Think about when we just disagree with somebody, or somebody's not listening to us, or somebody doesn't really care what you have to say. Perhaps you're not getting a turn to speak or to share, or it doesn't seem like it's equal. You see, this generally is what an argument is. We're not getting along. We're not agreeing. And maybe somebody has a bad attitude, or they just sound like they're being nasty. Why does this have to happen? Well, it's pretty simple if we really think about it. There's something missing in this. And that's usually what the answer is. So let's look at the situation. Doesn't sound good. It doesn't look good. It doesn't feel good. And somebody could be slamming doors or even throwing something. Again, this isn't about anything that's so serious that requires this type of situation. And even if it was extremely serious and it was about something that needed this type of attention, there's a way to handle that. There's a way to work with that. But I am mentioning how this isn't required in these moderate to mild situations. And maybe you're fed up. Maybe you're tired of it. Or it's just getting to you so badly that you feel like you want to explode. Just as if it was a situation that was extremely problematic and you had to deal with it. It's strange because most of our encounters, when we're not getting along, we're butting heads, somebody's not listening, someone's being rude, they're being disrespectful, you feel like you're being talked down to, stuff like that. That almost feels just as equal as if the situation was a major problem. It's like we react the same way. Why is this? Well, like I said, the solution to this problem is what's missing. And we could ask ourselves, what's missing? Someone's not listening. Someone's not trying to understand. Someone's not being patient. It's almost as if they don't care. And I'd like to say that's what's missing. Why can't you care? Why can't they care? See, it's very interesting because if all we did in these situations was let me just listen to what they have to say, let me try to understand. Now, I understand if, it doesn't seem like a balanced scenario. Well, maybe they're talking too much or you are. But if you cared about that, wouldn't you say, hang on, let's just take turns. Let's listen to each other. Let's hear each other out in an effort to not just be kind, to not just be respectful, but to care. And maybe one of us has to talk more than the other. Maybe that's required. But how do we know? Well, it comes down to just simply caring. It's kind of like, do you care to look at the sunset? You don't have to look at it in any particular way. Do you care to, maybe you find doing something particular in life is enjoyable, whatever it may be. How do you do it? Most of the time, there's really no right way. If you enjoy something, you're involved in it. So if you enjoy listening, if you enjoy being a part of someone's company, if you enjoy trying to understand, why would that be hard to do? It sounds kind of boring if we're going to try to enjoy being a kind person. But the bottom line is, it's not about trying to enjoy it. It's about wanting to because you care. And if you wanted to care, and you can't, imagine the struggle. Imagine the arguing. I mean, really what's missing in is love. If you cared about yourself, if they cared about themselves, if they wanted to understand, if they tried to understand, they took their time, if everyone realized where their line was of like, you know what, I need to take a break from this, but I really would love to, or I'd like to get back to it. And I'm not saying let's just forget about this. I just need a break. Or whatever the case may be. But why can't people share how they think and feel? Why can't people try to understand what another person is saying? Why can't people say, hang on, I'm not sure what you mean by this. Is this what you mean by this? Without trying to win, without trying to be right, how could trying to understand be wrong? Now, some people won't like it when you try to understand because they struggle to share how they think and feel. They struggle to want to be open and vulnerable. They struggle with that. So it's like they're going to shut down. All we can do is try to realize we're all individually on a path. When we come across situations like this, the only way to make this work is to just care. That's it. Maybe they're not ready to care. Maybe they're not ready to be open. Maybe, for whatever the reason may be, it could be psychological, it could be hormonal, it could be, who knows? The point I'm trying to make is, if you cared, why force? And why try so hard? That doesn't sound like much caring. So, in these situations, they're always going to work out when you care. Doesn't mean the other person is going to be receptive. So therefore, you got to figure out how you're going to go about this and what you're going to do about that. A caring person would look at it like this, as opposed to, let me get you back, let me get even, I'm going to get revenge, I'm going to hold in my emotions. This is a very dysfunctional way to live. You know, having disagreements, even arguments, it's healthy. What's not healthy is when people don't care, they don't care about themselves. They struggle to share how they think and feel. They struggle to, express themselves. They struggle to listen to another person. Imagine if we could just care a little bit more. Care a little bit more how we thought and felt. Care a little bit more how another person thinks and feels. How could that occur if it's not occurring within us?